In the cold, infinite vastness of space, the crew of the Zeltron scout ship maneuvered silently towards Earth. Their mission had been meticulously planned, to establish the first alien outpost on this distant blue planet. The Zeltrons, a race known for their advanced technology and strategic acumen, had scouted Earth discreetly for decades. They were convinced that the human race, with its fragmented governments and primitive technology compared to their own, would pose little threat. Today was to be a monumental day, the day they would finally make their presence known. Captain Zorax, the leader of the Zeltron contingent, stared out of the command module's viewport. His gaze was fixed on the blue and green sphere that grew larger with each passing moment. Beside him, his second-in-command, Lieutenant Thara, monitored the communication channels, ensuring that all was quiet. "Prepare the descent troops," Zorax commanded, his voice steady but filled with the anticipation of a victor on the eve of conquest. "We strike at dawn, Earth time. Our goal is to establish control quickly and assert our dominance." As the first light of Earth's dawn brushed the horizon, the Zeltron ships, cloaked and silent, descended into the atmosphere. Their target was a remote human outpost located in the dense forests of the Amazon, a research facility known to few outside the scientific community, but identified by Zeltron scouts as a point of interest due to its isolation and minimal defenses. The humans, engrossed in their daily tasks, were oblivious to the alien ships that hovered above. Dr. Emily Santos, the head of the research station, was busy reviewing data from their latest environmental studies. The outpost, equipped with state-of-the-art Earth technology, was ironically unaware of the state-of-the-art alien technology that loomed overhead. Suddenly, the serene morning was shattered by the sound of the Zeltron descent crafts breaking the sound barrier. Alarms blared throughout the outpost as the humans scrambled to understand the attack. "What in the world?" Emily gasped, rushing out to see the sky ablaze with the alien crafts descending rapidly. The Zeltrons deployed their troops with precision, surrounding the outpost within minutes. Armed with energy weapons and protected by deflector shields, they expected minimal resistance and a quick victory. However, what they encountered was something they had not prepared for. As the Zeltron forces advanced, the Earth scientists did not flee. Instead, they quickly organized themselves, using the outpost's communication equipment to send distress signals and utilizing their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. The dense forest, unfamiliar and treacherous to the Zeltrons, became a battleground where advanced technology met human ingenuity. Emily, leading her team, coordinated a series of hit-and-run tactics that bewildered the Zeltron troops. The humans used makeshift traps and the natural environment to slow the alien advance, exploiting the Zeltrons' unfamiliarity with Earth's biological and ecological hazards. Captain Zorax, observing the chaos from his command ship, grew increasingly frustrated. "How is this possible?" he muttered, watching his well-trained troops struggle against what he had considered a technologically inferior enemy. The turning point came when a group of Earth's indigenous tribes, who regarded the outpost as part of their ancestral territory, joined the fight. Skilled in guerrilla warfare and deeply connected to the forest, they turned the tide, ambushing Zeltron squads and disappearing into the underbrush with ease. As the day wore on, the initial shock of the alien attack gave way to a determined resistance. Human casualties were few, thanks to their evasive tactics and knowledge of the area, while the Zeltrons found themselves caught in a quagmire they had not anticipated. By nightfall, what was supposed to be a swift and decisive victory for the Zeltrons had turned into a costly stalemate. Captain Zorax was forced to reconsider his strategy. Retreating to his ship, he called a council with his officers. "We underestimated the humans," he admitted begrudgingly. "Their resistance is fiercer than our projections accounted for. We need to regroup and rethink our approach." Back at the outpost, Emily and her team celebrated their unexpected success. "They thought they could take us easily," she said to her colleagues. "But today, we showed them that Earth is not a planet to be underestimated." As the humans prepared for what they knew would be continued attempts at invasion, they also worked to send data about their attackers to governments worldwide. The day had proven that when pushed to the brink, humanity could unite and fight back against a common enemy. In the darkness of his command module, Captain Zorax watched Earth, a planet of unexpected defiance and resilience. The battle was far from over, but the first day of contact had ended with a clear message. Attacking the human outpost was a grave mistake. Back on the Zeltron mothership, orbiting silently above Earth, tensions simmered among the high command. The unexpected setback on the surface had sparked a flurry of strategic meetings. Captain Zorax, still grappling with the initial defeat, faced criticism from his superiors who were remotely monitoring the mission from their home planet. They demanded an explanation for the miscalculation and insisted on a revised plan that would not only salvage the mission but also restore their bruised pride. In the cramped, dimly lit war room of the ship, Captain Zorax convened his top strategists and advisors. The walls, lined with screens displaying various data points and live feeds from the surface, created an atmosphere of urgent intensity. "Report on the human capabilities," Zorax commanded, his voice betraying a hint of desperation. Lieutenant Thara stepped forward, her expression solemn as she presented the findings. "It appears that the humans possess a higher level of tactical adaptability than our initial intelligence suggested," Thara began. "Their use of the environment and guerrilla tactics were highly effective. Moreover, there seems to be a previously underestimated sense of unity among them when faced with a common threat." Zorax nodded, absorbing the information. "And what of our own losses?" "Minimal casualties, but significant damage to morale and equipment," another officer reported. "Our technology gives us an advantage, but the terrain and human ingenuity neutralized many of our strengths." A grizzled veteran, General Varkas, who had been silent until now, spoke up. "We need to change our approach. A frontal assault is evidently ineffective. We must consider subterfuge, alliances, or other indirect methods." The suggestion sparked a heated debate among the crew. Some argued for a display of overwhelming force to intimidate the humans into submission. Others suggested a more cunning approach, perhaps manipulating human factions against each other. As the discussions unfolded, back on Earth, Emily and her team were not idle. They fortified their defenses and expanded their network of allies, reaching out to other scientific outposts and even military contacts. The global response was beginning to take shape as news of the alien presence and their hostile intentions spread. Recognizing the importance of this broader galactic context, Jane proposed the establishment of a multi-species consortium, a forum for dialogue and cooperation that would include the Avarians, humans, and Sorani, among others who might join later. "The Series Accords," Kale suggested, a name that would symbolize their commitment to peace and mutual understanding at the very site where these new interstellar relationships were forged. As the Accords were drafted, more delegations arrived, drawn by the news of the discovery and the peaceful gathering. Each brought their own perspectives and historical claims to the ancient civilization, enriching the dialogue, but also complicating the diplomatic landscape. Meanwhile, Liam and the scientific teams worked closely with Avarian historians to decode more of the ruined secrets. The collaborative atmosphere at the outpost was electric, sparking innovations and theories that leapt across disciplinary boundaries. Hana and Taela, alongside Avarian cultural experts, curated an exhibition that displayed the interconnected histories of the galaxy's civilizations, highlighting the shared heritage and common destiny that linked all present. As the chapter closes, the lights of the outpost shine brightly against the backdrop of Series 3's rugged landscape, a beacon of cooperation in a vast, once lonely universe. The Series Accords, now signed by multiple species, promise a new era of interstellar diplomacy, with the joint research facility serving as both a literal and figurative centerpiece in this grand alignment of cosmic civilizations. As dawn broke over the Zeltron mothership, Captain Zorax returned to the bridge, his mind burdened with the complexities of human resistance. The interrogation of Marco had yielded little in terms of tactical information, but had illuminated the spirit and resolve of humanity. This unexpected defiance forced Zorax to reconsider his strategies. A more nuanced approach was necessary, one that involved understanding and perhaps exploiting the diverse factions within humanity. Meanwhile, on Earth, news of the alien presence and their initial assault spread like wildfire. Governments around the world were in turmoil, scrambling to form responses to this unprecedented threat. Emily, back at the outpost, found herself at the center of a rapidly forming international coalition. Her first-hand experience and success in repelling the first Zeltron attack had made her a key figure in the global strategy against the alien invaders. In the depths of the Amazon, clandestine meetings took place between various military leaders, scientists, and strategists from around the globe. The outpost had been transformed into a command center, buzzing with activity and guarded by troops ready for any further alien incursions. Back on the Zeltron ship, Zorax initiated a risky plan. He decided to use Earth's own media systems against it, broadcasting a message of peace and cooperation to the human populations, hoping to sow confusion and division. The message, transmitted in multiple languages, claimed that the Zeltrons sought only to share their technology and help Earth join a larger galactic community. This propaganda was met with mixed reactions on Earth. While some factions argued for negotiation, viewing it as an opportunity to advance human technology and avoid conflict, others saw it as a clear tactic of deception. Emily, knowing the true nature of the Zeltron threat, worked tirelessly to unify the global response, advocating for a cautious approach that prepared for further aggression while keeping diplomatic channels open as a formality. As Earth's leaders debated their next move, Zorax dispatched infiltration units, smaller and equipped with even more advanced cloaking technology, to key locations around the world. Their mission was to gather intelligence and, if possible, turn influential humans to their cause. One such unit landed near a major European city, where they tracked a high-ranking political advisor, known for his sway over continental defense policies. This advisor, Julian, was carefully approached by the Zeltrons, who revealed themselves not as conquerors, but as benefactors, offering technological wonders in exchange for his support in pacifying public resistance. Julian, torn between the potential benefits and the obvious risks, found himself at a moral crossroads. The promise of advanced technology that could solve many of Earth's pressing issues was enticing, yet the cost of betrayal weighed heavily on his conscience. Simultaneously, Emily's efforts bore fruit as the international coalition launched a series of satellites equipped with advanced detection systems, specifically designed to spot and track Zeltron ships. With global military resources now coordinated, Earth's defenses began to solidify, presenting a formidable barrier to further Zeltron advances. The plot thickened when one of Emily's contacts in the intelligence community intercepted communications between Julian and the Zeltrons. Shocked by the potential breach within their ranks, the coalition faced a new internal threat. The need for unity was more critical than ever, but trust had become a precious commodity that was rapidly diminishing. As Earth fortified its defenses and the Zeltrons continued their covert operations, the stage was set for a conflict that would determine the fate of humanity. The shadows of espionage, technological warfare, and political intrigue deepened the crisis, making the next moves on this global chessboard crucial to the survival of both species. As Earth's orbit bristled with newly launched detection satellites, the Zeltrons' covert operations intensified under the cover of their advanced cloaking technologies. Meanwhile, Captain Zorax's strategic gamble to sway public opinion and infiltrate Earth's political landscape was unfolding with mixed results. The division among human factions provided an opening, yet the unified military preparedness presented a formidable challenge. On Earth, Emily was briefed about the intercepted communications involving Julian. The revelation shook the core of the international coalition, exposing vulnerabilities within their own ranks. The urgency to address this potential betrayal and reinforce their unity became paramount. In a high-security meeting, global leaders, military officials, and key strategists, including Emily, convened to discuss the situation. "We must handle this delicately," Emily advised, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. "If we confront Julian openly without solid proof, we risk not only alienating him, but also fracturing the coalition. We need more information." The decision was made to place Julian under discreet surveillance while continuing to engage him as a trusted advisor. This dual approach was designed to either confirm his betrayal or validate his loyalty without tipping off the Zeltron infiltrators that their plot had been discovered. Back on the Zeltron mothership, Zorax received reports of Earth's escalating defensive preparations. The newly deployed satellites, equipped with technology capable of detecting even cloaked ships, posed a significant threat to their operations. The Zeltron High Command was forced to innovate their strategies. "We need a countermeasure," Zorax declared in a meeting with his top engineers and scientists. "Develop a jamming device that can disrupt these satellites. We cannot afford to be blind above this planet." As the Zeltrons worked on their new technological counter, Julian's inner turmoil grew. The Zeltron promises of advanced technology for peace seemed increasingly hollow as he observed the unity and determination of Earth's defenders. His covert meetings with the Zeltron emissaries became a chess game, with each side probing for weaknesses. One evening, Julian met with a Zeltron agent in a secluded location. "You ask much of me," Julian said cautiously, "and the risk to my position and my planet is great. How can I trust that your intentions are as peaceful as you claim?" The Zeltron, disguised with human-like features, replied smoothly, "We seek only a mutual benefit. Consider the advancements your people will gain. With our technology, diseases could be eradicated, energy crises solved, and even interstellar travel could become a reality for your species." Julian, conflicted by the potential benefits, requested a demonstration of good faith. "Provide us with a technology that can aid us now, without strings attached, and perhaps then we can discuss further." Meanwhile, Emily and her team developed a strategy to expose and counteract the Zeltron infiltration. They planned a staged leak of false information about a new powerful weapon, hoping to draw out the Zeltron operatives and catch them in the act. The trap was set at a secure facility, with hidden surveillance and elite forces on standby. As predicted, the information leaked to Julian made its way to the Zeltrons, who planned an operation to steal the non-existent technology. On the night of the operation, Zeltron agents covertly approached the facility, unaware of the ambush awaiting them. As they breached the perimeter, alarms blared, and lights flooded the area. Earth forces, hidden until that moment, swiftly captured the intruders. The success of the sting operation provided clear evidence of Zeltron deception, and Julian, witnessing the fallout, realized the depth of his naivete. He was now faced with a critical choice: continue down the path of betrayal or redeem himself by fully supporting Earth's resistance. With the Zeltron plot exposed and their agents captured, Earth's leaders, including Emily, used this victory to bolster the morale and unity of their coalition. The battle lines were drawn clearer than ever, and humanity, now more vigilant and united, prepared for the inevitable next phase of the conflict. The Zeltrons, caught off guard by the cunning and resourcefulness of Earth's defenders, were forced to recalibrate their strategies in what was becoming an increasingly complicated and high-stakes interstellar chess match. Following the thwarted Zeltron operation, Earth's coalition experienced a surge in morale and unity. The successful exposure of the alien infiltration attempt had galvanized the planet's defenses and reinforced the necessity of vigilance. Emily, now seen not just as a leader but as a symbol of Earth's resilience, worked closely with international military and scientific communities to fortify positions and develop new strategies to counteract the Zeltron threat. Meanwhile, Julian, shaken by the recent events and his near betrayal, chose redemption. He approached Emily and the coalition leaders, offering full cooperation and disclosing all previous interactions with the Zeltrons. His detailed account of Zeltron promises and tactics provided the coalition with invaluable insights into the alien psyche and objectives. Back on the Zeltron mothership, Captain Zorax faced harsh criticism from his superiors for the operation's failure. The High Command was growing impatient with the lack of progress and the increasing complications posed by Earth's unexpected capabilities. Under mounting pressure, Zorax convened his top advisors to formulate a new plan. "We must escalate our efforts," Zorax declared, his tone grim but determined. "It's time to utilize our most advanced technologies. We will deploy the Phase Disruptor, a device capable of temporarily disabling Earth's electronic and communication networks. This will give us the window we need to establish a more substantial foothold." As the Zeltrons prepared their technological assault, Earth's defenses continued to evolve. Emily and her team, aware of the potential for further high-tech warfare, pushed for the development of countermeasures. The global network of scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to enhance the detection satellites and create a system capable of shielding key infrastructure from electromagnetic or quantum disruptions. The moment of the new Zeltron offensive arrived without warning. A series of bright flashes in the sky preceded the sudden blackout of communications across multiple major cities around the globe. As panic began to spread, Emily's foresight proved pivotal. The shield systems, though still experimental, managed to protect critical military and emergency services networks, preventing total chaos. On the ground, the Zeltrons deployed shock troops in key locations, capitalizing on the confusion and aiming to seize control of major technological and military assets. However, the Earth forces were better prepared than the Zeltrons anticipated. Using a combination of guerrilla tactics and coordinated counterattacks, human soldiers engaged the invaders, leveraging their knowledge of the terrain and the partially functioning defense systems. In a crucial battle near a major power plant, a combined force of international troops and local militias, led by a veteran officer who had been consulting with Emily, managed to repel a Zeltron assault. The battle was fierce, with significant casualties on both sides, but the humans' tenacity and adaptability shone through. Meanwhile, in space, a daring operation by a specially trained astronaut team from the Coalition managed to board one of the smaller Zeltron crafts during the blackout. Their mission was to retrieve any technology or intelligence that could help turn the tide of the war. After a tense and perilous confrontation, the team returned with Zeltron communication devices and navigational data, providing critical insights into the alien operations. With each passing day, the war became increasingly brutal and complex. Earth's forces, now equipped with both Zeltron technology and a unified sense of purpose, began to push back the invaders with increased effectiveness. The Zeltrons, realizing the challenge they faced, were forced to call for reinforcements from their home planet, escalating the conflict to a new level. In the corridors of power, both on Earth and aboard the Zeltron mothership, leaders prepared for a protracted conflict. Each side recognized that the struggle was not just for territory, but for their very survival. As Earth united like never before, Emily stood at the forefront, a beacon of hope and determination, leading her planet in the defense of their home against the alien threat. The stage was set for a showdown that would decide the fate of Earth and its place in the cosmos. As the interstellar war escalated, both Earth and the Zeltron forces found themselves embroiled in a conflict that stretched their resources and tested their resolve. Captain Zorax, under intense scrutiny from his superiors, grappled with the weight of his decisions and the lives they affected. On Earth, Emily, who had become the face of human resistance, worked tirelessly to maintain the fragile unity of the global coalition and to push technological advancements that could give them an edge in battle. With the Zeltron reinforcements arriving, a fresh wave of battles ignited across the globe. The Zeltrons introduced new combat drones that were faster and more lethal than their predecessors. However, Earth's forces, now more adept at guerrilla warfare and bolstered by reverse-engineered Zeltron technology, mounted a robust defense. In a strategic move, Emily proposed the creation of an international defense command, a unified global body to oversee and coordinate Earth's military efforts against the Zeltron incursion. This proposal was quickly ratified, giving her the authority to direct military operations globally, a testament to the trust and respect she had earned among Earth's leaders. Meanwhile, on the Zeltron mothership, Zorax faced a personal and professional crisis. The continuous failures were not only diminishing his standing, but also affecting his belief in the righteousness of their cause. During a moment of introspection, Zorax accessed intercepted communications that revealed the depth of human suffering caused by their attacks. For the first time, he questioned the morality of their mission. Back on Earth, a covert team led by Julian, now fully committed to the human cause, embarked on a high-risk mission to infiltrate a Zeltron-controlled facility on Earth. Their goal was to capture a Zeltron field commander who could potentially provide intelligence about upcoming offensive plans. The mission was fraught with danger, and the team knew that not all of them would return. As Julian and his team stealthily approached the facility, they encountered minimal resistance, unusual for such a strategically important location. It was a trap. The Zeltrons had anticipated the move and ambushed the team. In the ensuing chaos, several team members were captured, but Julian and a few others managed to escape, albeit without the intelligence they had hoped to secure. Despite the setback, the mission was not a complete failure. The resistance encountered at the facility provided Emily with critical information about Zeltron military deployments and their interest in that particular region, suggesting it was a site of significant strategic importance. Determined to turn every defeat into a learning opportunity, Emily orchestrated a series of counteroffensives based on the new intelligence. These battles were hard-fought, with significant casualties on both sides. But slowly, Earth's forces began to reclaim territory. In a defining moment of the war, Emily led a coalition force in a decisive battle near the original landing site of the Zeltrons. The battle raged for days, with neither side yielding. In the climax, a desperate Zorax launched a direct assault, leading his elite guard against Emily's command center. The battle was brutal, and losses were heavy, but ultimately, Earth's defenders held firm. The victory at the landing site became a turning point in the war. The Zeltrons, with their morale shattered and their commander openly questioning their purpose, began to falter. Reports of dissent and defection within the Zeltron ranks started to surface, signaling a possible shift in the war's dynamics. Amidst the turmoil, a secret communication was sent from Zorax to Emily, proposing a ceasefire and negotiations for peace. Exhausted by the relentless fighting and moved by Zorax's change of heart, Emily agreed to meet under strict security. As they prepared for the peace talks, both leaders reflected on the path that had led them here. They understood that the coming negotiations would require compromises and sacrifices, but both were prepared to put an end to the conflict for the sake of their people's future. The shadow of war began to lift, revealing the possibility of a new dawn, one defined by shared understanding and hope for peaceful coexistence. The ceasefire held tenuous but firm as the planet breathed a momentary sigh of relief. In the shadow of the recent brutal confrontations, both Earth and the Zeltrons prepared for what was hoped to be a historic peace negotiation. Captain Zorax and Emily, representing their respective species, approached the negotiations with a mixture of caution and profound responsibility. The eyes of two civilizations, wearied by war yet hopeful for peace, watched their every move. On Earth, the chosen venue for the talks was a neutral site, a remote island in the Pacific, chosen for its isolation and symbolic natural beauty, untouched by the scars of war. Security was unprecedented, with both human and Zeltron guards overseeing the event, a testament to the fragile trust being brokered. As the delegations arrived, the tension was palpable. Zorax, accompanied by his closest advisors, was visibly strained. The weight of his recent self-reflections and the stark disapproval of his military actions by some of his own people had changed him. Emily, for her part, carried the resolve of humanity, tempered with a diplomat's prudence. The initial meetings were formal, with each side laying out their primary concerns and terms for peace. Emily insisted on complete withdrawal of Zeltron forces from Earth and substantial reparations for the damage inflicted. Zorax, seeking a sustainable peace, proposed shared access to certain terrestrial resources in exchange for technology transfers that would benefit Earth's environmental and medical sectors. As the negotiations progressed, backchannels and informal dialogues emerged, fostering a cautious rapport between the two sides. Julian, having proven his worth and loyalty through his actions in the war, served as a key aide to Emily, leveraging his understanding of Zeltron psychology to advise on negotiation tactics. Meanwhile, factions within the Zeltron ranks, led by those who had grown disillusioned with the war, began to exert pressure on Zorax to find a peaceful resolution quickly. They feared that a prolonged conflict or unsuccessful peace talks would lead to a civil strife among the Zeltrons themselves. The turning point in the negotiations came when Zorax, in a closed-door session with Emily, shared classified information about the political pressures within his government and the factions pushing for continued aggression. This gesture of transparency was risky but calculated. Zorax aimed to show sincerity in his desire for peace. Emily responded by softening some of her demands, focusing on guarantees for Earth's security rather than punitive measures. She proposed an ongoing Earth-Zeltron Council to oversee the implementation of the treaty terms and the gradual integration of their societies in terms of trade and cultural exchange. As the days wore on, the intense discussions started shaping a detailed treaty. The final agreement outlined the phased withdrawal of Zeltron troops, a framework for reparations, and the establishment of a bilateral council. Additionally, it included provisions for a future defense pact against any external threats, signifying a shift from adversaries to allies. The treaty signing was set on the island, under the open sky, symbolized by two flags standing side by side, an Earth flag, representing the United Nations of the world, and the Zeltron flag, a symbol of their planet and people. As Emily and Zorax signed the documents, the world watched. Cameras broadcasted the historic moment, capturing the mixed emotions of relief, hope, and the extensive weariness of two leaders who had come to represent the hopes of their worlds. In the aftermath of the signing, celebrations erupted across Earth, with cautious optimism prevailing amidst the memories of the war. On the Zeltron side, there was a more subdued acknowledgement of the peace, mixed with a sense of introspection about their role in the cosmos and the future path of their civilization. As the sun set on the island, Emily and Zorax walked together along the beach, discussing the future and the challenges ahead. Both knew that the true test of their treaty would be in its implementation and the willingness of their people to reconcile with their former enemies. The peace was fragile, but for the first time in a long while, there was a genuine hope for a lasting harmony between Earth and the Zeltrons, forged not in the fires of war, but through the bonds of understanding and mutual respect. In the weeks following the historic peace treaty, the world was abuzz with both optimism and skepticism. While many celebrated the end of hostilities and the beginning of a new era of cooperation between Earth and the Zeltrons, others remained wary of the intentions behind the alien overtures. Emily, now regarded as a key architect of peace, took on the role of ambassador at large, dedicating herself to ensuring the successful implementation of the treaty and fostering a deep-seated understanding between the two species. The newly established Earth-Zeltron Council convened for its first session in Geneva, a city long symbolic of international diplomacy. The council consisted of equal representatives from Earth and Zeltron, and its primary mandate was to oversee the demilitarization process, manage reparations, and facilitate technological and cultural exchanges. The meetings were broadcast live, a gesture to maintain transparency and build trust among the global populace. Meanwhile, Captain Zorax, having returned to his home planet, faced a different set of challenges. He was tasked with reintegrating the returning troops and addressing the dissent within his own ranks. The war had exposed deep divisions within Zeltron society about their role in the universe and their approach to other civilizations. Zorax initiated a series of reforms aimed at transforming the military-centric culture of his people, advocating for a new focus on diplomacy and scientific advancement. Back on Earth, Julian took charge of the integration program for Zeltron technology. Under his leadership, a new institute was established to study Zeltron technology and explore its applications for human benefit. One of the first breakthroughs, made public in a highly anticipated reveal, was a new energy system that could significantly reduce Earth's reliance on fossil fuels, a direct result of Zeltron cooperation. The distribution of this technology was not without its hurdles. Debates and protests erupted in various corners of the globe, driven by fears of dependency on alien technology and the potential for Zeltron influence over Earth's affairs. Emily and Julian worked closely to address these concerns, organizing forums and workshops that involved community leaders, scientists, and policymakers to discuss the implications and safeguards of the technological integration. Cultural exchanges also began to take shape. Zeltron artists, musicians, and scholars visited Earth, participating in events that were designed to showcase Zeltron culture and art. Similarly, human delegations visited the Zeltron homeworld, bringing with them elements of Earth's diverse cultures. These exchanges were initially met with curiosity and enthusiasm, though not without incidents stemming from misunderstandings and deeply ingrained prejudices. As these initiatives unfolded, Emily found herself increasingly in dialogue with Zorax, discussing not just the logistical aspects of the treaty implementation, but also broader philosophical questions about governance, society, and the future of interstellar relations. Their conversations, often intense and introspective, highlighted the growing respect and understanding between them, serving as a model for their peoples. However, peace did not mean a complete absence of conflict. A faction of Zeltron radicals, opposed to what they saw as capitulation to Earth, attempted to sabotage the peace process through a series of cyber attacks on the Geneva Council sessions. The attacks were thwarted by joint Earth-Zeltron security teams, highlighting the effectiveness of cooperation, but also underscoring the fragility of the peace. In response to these challenges, Emily proposed the creation of an interstellar peacekeeping force, composed of both human and Zeltron members. This proposal, while controversial, was eventually adopted, marking another step towards a unified approach to security and conflict resolution. As the chapter of war closed and a new chapter of collaboration began, the planets watched each other with a cautious optimism. The bridge between Earth and the Zeltrons, once forged in the heat of battle, was now being strengthened in the spirit of mutual advancement and shared destiny. The path was not easy, and the future held many uncertainties, but for the first time the prospect of a peaceful and prosperous interstellar community seemed within reach. As Earth and the Zeltron civilization navigated the complex waters of their newly formed alliance, the seeds of interstellar collaboration began to sprout, albeit amidst a garden of cautious vigilance and occasional mistrust. Emily, as the ambassador at large, continued to spearhead initiatives that would solidify the fragile ties between the two races, aware that each step forward could potentially uncover latent challenges or new threats. In an effort to deepen the scientific and technological cooperation, the Earth-Zeltron Council approved the establishment of a joint research facility on the Moon. This lunar base was intended to be a symbol of unity, a place where scientists and engineers from both civilizations could work together on projects ranging from astrophysics to sustainable energy solutions. The groundbreaking ceremony was broadcast globally, watched by millions who now looked to the stars with renewed hope and curiosity. Meanwhile, Zorax faced his own battles on the home front. The radical faction that had opposed the peace treaty grew in influence, capitalizing on fears that Zorax's policies were diluting the Zeltron's cultural identity and military prowess. In response, Zorax launched a series of public outreach campaigns promoting the benefits of peace and the potential advancements through cooperation with Earth. He held town halls, attended by thousands, where he spoke not just as a leader, but as a visionary who saw a greater destiny for the Zeltrons beyond conquest. Back on Earth, Julian's leadership at the Technology Integration Institute faced scrutiny from various global powers, each wary of the other's intentions and the balance of power the new technologies might disrupt. Julian navigated these political waters with a deft hand, ensuring that technology dissemination was equitable, aiming to prevent any nation from using Zeltron advancements to gain undue advantage over others. Amidst these unfolding events, an unexpected discovery at the Lunar Research Facility set the stage for a potential breakthrough in human-Zeltron relations. A team of Earth and Zeltron scientists unearthed an ancient artifact buried deep beneath the Moon's surface. Preliminary analysis suggested it was not of human or Zeltron origin, hinting at the existence of another advanced civilization in the cosmos. This revelation sparked a flurry of excitement and apprehension as it raised questions about the broader galactic community and the place of Earth and Zeltron within it. The discovery led to the formation of a special committee to study the artifact, co-chaired by Emily and a prominent Zeltron archaeologist, Dr. Felix. Their work not only involved deciphering the artifact's origins, but also managing the diplomatic implications of their findings. The existence of another spacefaring civilization posed new challenges for the Earth-Zeltron alliance, potentially reshaping their understanding of the universe and their strategies for exploration and defense. As the committee delved into their research, incidents on Earth and Zeltron revealed the fragile nature of peace. On Earth, a major protest in a metropolitan center escalated into violence when anti-Zeltron groups clashed with pro-Alliance demonstrators. Similarly, on Zeltron, a military parade was disrupted by an explosion that was later attributed to radical anti-peace activists. These events tested the resolve of both Emily and Zorax, reminding them that the path to a lasting peace was fraught with hurdles. In response to these tensions, Emily proposed an expansion of the cultural exchange programs, believing that fostering personal relationships between the citizens of Earth and Zeltron could build grassroots support for the Alliance. Meanwhile, Zorax increased security measures, but also emphasized rehabilitation and dialogue with the dissenters, understanding that suppression alone would not lead to genuine peace. As the year drew to a close, the Earth-Zeltron Council convened to review the progress and setbacks of their joint efforts. The discussions were candid, reflecting both the achievements and the ongoing challenges. However, the commitment to continue their path forward was unanimous. The leaders, guided by their shared experiences and the potential of their unified efforts, reaffirmed their dedication to not just maintaining peace, but nurturing a partnership that could withstand the trials of their uncharted journey into the cosmos. As the Earth and Zeltron alliance matured, the events of the past year set the stage for a pivotal phase in interstellar diplomacy and cooperation. The Joint Lunar Research Facility, now fully operational, became a beacon of collective scientific endeavor and a symbol of the unified pursuit of knowledge. Meanwhile, the revelation of a possible third advanced civilization, suggested by the mysterious artifact found beneath the moon's surface, widened the horizons of both Earth and Zeltron populations, fostering a mix of excitement and existential questioning. Emily, as the key figure in these transformative times, focused her energies on expanding the dialogue between Earth and Zeltron, encouraging deeper integration and understanding. Her efforts were complemented by Zorax's initiatives on his home planet, where he worked to stabilize his political position against the backdrop of increasing unrest among the anti-peace factions. The Earth-Zeltron Council, under the leadership of Emily and Zorax, took a bold step forward by announcing the formation of a Galactic Exploration Initiative, GEI. This initiative was designed to not only explore the cosmos, but also to prepare for potential encounters with other spacefaring civilizations. The GEI aimed to establish protocols for peaceful engagement and scientific exchange, setting a precedent for future interstellar relations. In this atmosphere of cautious optimism, the special committee studying the ancient artifact made a groundbreaking announcement. The artifact contained a star map, pointing to a distant sector of the galaxy where the creators of the artifact might originate. The implications were profound, suggesting that the galaxy was more populated and perhaps more interconnected than previously thought. The discovery fueled debates among Earth's leaders and the global populace about the direction of future space exploration and the necessity of preparing for more complex diplomatic scenarios. Emily advocated for a proactive approach, pushing for advanced readiness in technology and diplomacy to ensure that humanity could hold its own in a potentially crowded and competitive galaxy. Simultaneously, the cultural exchange programs began showing tangible results. Earth cities hosted Zeltron art exhibitions and symposiums, while Zeltron welcomed human musicians and academics, creating a cultural blend that enriched both societies. Personal stories of friendship and collaboration between Earthlings and Zeltrons were highlighted in media, gradually changing public perception and reducing xenophobic sentiment. However, not all was smooth sailing. The radical elements within Zeltron, feeling threatened by the rapid changes and the possibility of losing their cultural identity, orchestrated a series of disruptive actions to undermine the Alliance. They targeted the GEI, attempting to sabotage its missions and communications. Zorax responded with a decisive crackdown on these elements, combining force with an expanded public dialogue to address their concerns and fears. Back on Earth, as preparations for the first mission under the GEI were underway, Emily found herself reflecting on the journey that had brought her from the brink of interstellar war to the forefront of galactic exploration. She penned a memoir, hoping to capture the lessons learned and to inspire future generations to continue the work of peace and exploration. The climax of the year came with the launch of the Pathfinder 1, the first mission under the GEI, aimed at investigating the star map's coordinates. The spacecraft, crewed by both humans and Zeltrons, symbolized the new era of cooperation and shared destiny. As Pathfinder 1 disappeared into the vastness of space, its trajectory marked by a trail of light against the starry sky, the people of Earth and Zeltron watched together, united in their hopes and dreams for a peaceful and exploratory future. Emily stood beside Zorax, both leaders aware that they were witnessing the dawn of a new chapter in their civilization's histories, one filled with unknown challenges, but also unlimited possibilities. With the galaxy now open before them, humanity and the Zeltrons stepped into the future as partners. Their destinies intertwined, ready to face whatever mysteries and opportunities lay ahead in the boundless cosmic ocean.